Authorities are searching for the man accused of carrying out 2 mass shootings in Maine last night. More than a dozen people are dead and many others are injured. Residents in the city of Lewiston have been advised to shelter in place. Maine State Police are expected to give an update on the shootings this morning.
Israeli troops launched a brief ground raid into northern Gaza overnight. Israel says troops hit several militant targets in order to, quote, prepare the battlefield before a widely expected ground invasion. Iranian-backed militants have been launching attacks in recent days on U.S. troops in the region, but the focus remains on the hostages being held in Gaza.
After more than 3 weeks, the House has finally elected a speaker. Congressman Mike Johnson of Louisiana, having served only 6.5 years in Congress, he has the least experience of any speaker in 140 years. The first vote under Speaker Johnson yesterday was a resolution supporting Israel. The House must also take up funding for Ukraine and government funding, which is set to expire November 17th.
There's a tentative deal between Ford and auto workers on strike. The 4-year agreement includes a 25% wage hike, putting top pay around $40 an hour. It also reinstates cost of living adjustments, cuts the time it takes new hires to reach the top wage, and gives workers the right to strike over plant closings. Talks continue at General Motors at Stellantis in the 6-week-old walkout.
New home sales in the U.S. surged higher in September from the month before that, even as mortgage rates remained over 7%. Sales of newly constructed homes jumped 12.3% last month. This represents the fastest pace of sales since February 2022 and easily exceeds analysts' expectations.
UPS has agreed to buy a reverse logistics firm that handles returns for retailers. The company says the acquisition means label-free returns will soon be available at thousands of its locations in the U.S. The purchase of Happy Returns from PayPal is expected to close before the end of the year.
Demand for electric vehicles isn't keeping up with expectations. The situation emphasized by the dumping of a GM-Honda partnership to develop lower-cost EVs. Electric car sales are growing strongly, but high interest rates are sabotaging plans by car makers and climate regulators to speed up the shift to EVs.
Mattel's Barbie is boosting sales of dolls, accessories, and dream houses. The hit movie lifted the toy maker out of a quarterly sales slump and topping Wall Street expectations. Mattel now anticipates Barbie momentum will continue into the critical holiday season. Barbie has raked in more than $1.4 billion since its opening in July.
There was a lot of anticipation to see how the Spurs would start their season opener, but they fell short to the Mavs, 126-119. All eyes were on rookie Victor Wembanyama, and while he had a slow start and foul trouble in the first 3 quarters of the game, he finished strong in the fourth quarter with 9 points in the span of 3 minutes, finishing with 15 on the night. And that's today's 9 at 9.